Well, folks, last night, Vivek Ramaswamy had himself an actual good moment. There's some bad moments for Vivek, but there was one moment that was really good. He went after the media, and it was pretty fun to watch. Vivek Ramaswamy is the guy. He's basically a Tucker Carlson tweet come to flesh, made flesh. And you could see it last night. Now, again, I don't disagree with virtually anything that Vivek is saying here. I just wonder what exactly Vivek's strategy is here for, winning a presidential election. So his critiques are right, and then he has no prescription, which is the essence. It really is the essence of performative politics. The essence of performative politics, Bernie Sanders does it on the left, is there are so many problems. Let me tell you about all the problems. There's so many problems, and I hate those problems. They're really bad problems. Those problems suck, man. I hate those problems. Man, I wish somebody would do something about those problems. Elect me. That's effectively what Vivek was doing last night. Now, again, I kind of loved this. When he did this, I will admit, again, I'm a conservative. I have a guttural, visceral hatred of the legacy media. I think they are garbage. I think they are liars. And I think they deserve every bit of scorn that has been heaped upon them in recent years. I also recognize this has nothing to do with winning an election. This has to do with sort of appealing to the online base. So here's Vivek last night.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Roberts.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor.
Okay, so what he says, that entire critique, again, the critique is largely correct. Right? By the way, when he mentions Ronna McDaniel losing her job, which I've been calling for what, a year at this point, a year and a half, when he says that, he's not wrong. We should point out, by the way, the reason that Ronna McDaniel did not lose her job is because she was supported by, wait for it, Donald Trump. That is why she's still in her job at the RNC. And then when he says that there should be a debate moderated by Tucker, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk, that's sort of a slightly weird take, given that the only one of those figures who actually has voted Republican anytime in the recent past, I assume, is Tucker. And Tucker is, shall we say, controversial on foreign policy inside Republican halls. If you're really going to do that, you'd need an actual diverse base of sort of ideological people. But in any case, the disconnect is between what he says at the beginning, the critique, and then him saying at the end, this is how we get our country back. What, by criticizing the media? Again, I'm in that business. I'm up for it. I'm just wondering, is that really? If we elect you president, Vivek Ramaswamy, is your chief goal going to be criticizing the media? I noticed Trump did that a lot, and then he lost. So actually, what you're actually going to need here at some point is to take stock of the first two problems. Data matters, and performative politics is not going to be the solution. Okay, then the debate moved on to foreign policy, and this was sort of fascinating. There's sort of a tripartite division inside the Republican Party over foreign policy. You've got the very hawkish kind of sort of neocon position represented by Nikki Haley. And then you have the sort of middle of the road position presented by Ron DeSantis. And then you have the sort of full scale quasi-isolationist position presented by Vivek Ramaswamy. And these are interesting debates. They really are. The reality is that I think that the Republican Party, to its great discredit, cares very little at this point about policy debates. Because the reality is, we don't know which side of that debate Trump is on. When Trump was actually president, he was kind of a neocon. And then when he's talking about foreign policy, he sounds like Vivek. November is here. The holidays are just a couple of weeks away. This season, why not give the gift of comfort to everyone on your list, including yourself, with new Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas? When you give Tommy John, your loved ones are that much more comfortable, so they can do everything better. Make giving Tommy John a holiday tradition. Both women and men love getting the gift of Tommy John. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. One Tommy John fanatic raves, fantastic Christmas gift that went so right, she loves the PJs. Tommy John is cozy enough to use as sleepwear, stylish enough to wear during casual nights out or quick strolls to the coffee shop, and you're not going to look like you just rolled out of bed, even if you did. I got to tell you, I love my Tommy John product. I literally have no other pairs of underwear. It is just Tommy John. Tommy John loungewear is guaranteed to fit perfectly with comfy, non-pilling, micro-modal fabric, meaning no lint balls, no fuzz, luxuriously soft, tri-blend fabrics with flexible 4-way stretch. Shop Tommy John's fantastic Veterans Day sale. It's going on right now. Save 25% off site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Ben. That's 25% off everything for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/Ben. That's TommyJohn.com/Ben. Go check them out right now. From maintaining control of your assets to easing the burden on your loved ones, an estate plan can ensure that your family stays prepared and protected. It's really, really important stuff. We're all going to plot at some point. You got to make sure that how you dispose of your assets is written down on paper in legal writing, because otherwise the government is going to come in and decide who your kids go to. The government is going to come in and they're going to decide how your assets get distributed, and they're just going to grab a big chunk of them. If you're looking for a way to set up your estate to offer financial benefits and more, you need to check out Trust and Will. Traditional estate planning can cost thousands of dollars. The one-size-fits-all templates might not capture all the important details of the life you've built. With Trust and Will, you can protect your legacy from the comfort of your home, starting at just $159. They've simplified the process of creating and managing your will or trust online, from finding out what's right for your family to finalizing documents with a notary. My wife and I, we've had to do our will over and over, like multiple times, and it is really, really important. And it can be really, really complicated. But with Trust and Will, it does not have to be. Trust and Will has earned an overall rating of excellent with thousands of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Gain peace of mind today with Trust and Will. Get 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/Shapiro. That's trustandwill.com/Shapiro. So again, Vivek, he's just like a series of Twitter impulses that are made real. So here he was talking about Israel, and then he suddenly swivels and talks about the American border. Now, I'm a big fan of solidifying the American border. I've been calling for the American border to be closed for years and years and years. In fact, as long as I can remember talking about the immigration debate, I've talked about the fact that the southern border has been basically unprotected. I don't have any idea what that has to do with Israel destroying Hamas. But here was Vivek Ramaswamy trying to connect the two, with the implication being that basically cut Israel loose in the face of all its enemies because we need to protect the border or something, which, again, two disconnected issues. America can walk and chew gum at the same time, as it turns out.
The founding vision of Israel was based on the idea that they don't want to depend on anybody else's sympathy or direction in defending themselves. So what I would tell Bibi is that Israel has the right and the responsibility to defend itself. I would tell him to smoke those terrorists on his southern border, and then I'll tell him, as president of the United States, I'll be smoking the terrorists on our southern border. That's his responsibility. This is our responsibility.
Okay, that is a complete evasion of the question as to what level of material support you wish to provide to Israel, which is the actual question in that debate. And then Ramaswamy went even further. Again, performative. Vivek does not want to be president. He has no intention of being president. Vivek wants to run for Senate from Ohio, or he wants to run for a podcast, or he wants to be in Trump's cabinet. One of those things. But here he was last night going off on Ukraine. And again, I think that a lot of the criticisms of Ukraine's corruption are absolutely true. Ukraine does have serious corruption problems. It has had serious corruption problems for as long as Ukraine has been in the post-Soviet era. With that said, this is some pretty wild stuff here from Vivek.
Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties. It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm. That's not democratic. It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. It has celebrated a Nazi in its ranks, the comedian in cargo pants, a man called Zelensky, doing it in their own ranks. That is not democratic. More facts for you that you won't hear from the mainstream in either party or the mainstream media. The regions of Ukraine that are occupied by Russia right now, in the Donbass, Luhansk, Donetsk. These are Russian-speaking regions that have not even been part of Ukraine since 2014, that other people probably couldn't name those provinces for you. Those are the hard facts. And so to frame this as some kind of battle between good versus evil, don't buy it.
Okay, that is a wild foreign policy stance. I mean, again, Ukraine is indeed very corrupt. I have many, many problems with the Ukrainian government. When he says that Ukraine is basically honeycombed with Nazis in terms of its upper ranks, the government is honeycombed with Nazis, and calls Zelensky the comedian in cargo pants, and when he talks about how the occupied regions of Ukraine, Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk, that these are Russian-speaking regions, and therefore what? That Russia had a right to seize those regions in the first place? Or when he suggests it's not a battle between good and evil? Well, I mean, both sides don't have to be purely good in order for a particular battle to be between good and evil. And it turns out the invasion of a sovereign country in an attempt to depose the entire country's government on behalf of the most vicious dictator in the region, that's kind of not great. That's kind of not great. But again, Vivek, this is all performative. It's just performative. This is not an actual American foreign policy. No one thinks it is. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.